Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire, welcome to today's video, where you and I are going to be doing our initial gameplay review of the 9th sister, aka the 9 polygons, aka the 9th mortgage, the latest addition to the Inquisitorius in Galaxy of Heroes. And even though we still aren't quite there yet with the full team, dang boy, she's thick! Holy cow! Even though we don't got all the Inquisitors in Galaxy of Heroes right now, I like her more than the second sister already. I feel like we can make use out of her currently before the rest of the team comes into play. So what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna do some initial gameplay review. We're gonna do a more in-depth breakdown when the full team comes to fruition, but I do think this is the character we're gonna see pretty frequently with Lord Vader, and dare I say, I think she's the General Kenobi of the Empire. Come on over. Let's talk about a few things before we get into some gameplay. There's a few things to keep in mind. As I already kind of prefaced, this is initial review. We still have to wait for the full team. Jury's out on what the future will be like for this character, but being a General Kenobi Imperial tank that is incredibly thick, unaligned Force user with the unresistible days on Jedi is no joke, ladies and gents. So why don't we go start rolling some gameplay with that in mind here. Most of this footage, pretty much all of the footage for the most part, is going to be showcasing the 9th sister with Lord Vader, one of the teams that arguably needs a bit of help in Galaxy, especially considering how many relics are needed, and Maul, of course. But to start us off, I did throw the Zeta on this character. We are going to talk about Zeta Recommendations on this character. We did showcase the lead, which is supposed to be an anti-Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker lead. We saw that, yes, it's resistant against speed reduction things. So Jedi Knight Luke lead, for example, is meant to reduce your speed. Well, we saw it does work. However, we need to kind of get some more characters in the arsenal here to really take full advantage of this lead. But between the two leads so far that we have for the Inquisitors, the second sister as well as the 9th sister, I do quite like the 9th sister's lead just a little bit more. It's a bit odd. Every single Inquisitor so far in the game has been getting their own unique lead with a Territory War Omicron, which as of now, I don't recommend any of the Territory War Omicrons for these characters until we see the rest of the picture. That's why we don't want to go too crazy in depth on a particular character, because we don't really have the full picture just yet in the game. So the lead, you kind of see, we didn't get the speed reduction through the Jedi Knight Luke lead. So in a way, it's kind of like how Galactic Legends, they're immune to the speed reduction of Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Well, she brings that element to it. And we're gonna kind of just get a little bit into speculation mode later on into the video, why we're getting so many Territory War leads for the Inquisitors, as well as the Omicrons attached to them. So we'll get into more tinfoil hat there, but I want to talk about her viability. I am seeing so far with Lord Failure. Here's the problem with Lord Failure. There's a couple issues. You can load up the team with some of the best characters, and more or less the same counters kind of work against them. And the problem is too, if you fully load them, you're pulling away amazing characters from other teams like Thrawn, Darth Vader, Maul, for example. And the other thing is those weaker type of lineups we typically see inside of a Grand Arena. Normally you're putting in things like Stormtrooper, Shore Trooper, but this character, I think, is going to be an amazing 5th character to be slotting in right now. And let's just imagine if there's no more Inquisitors coming, I think she's going to be very popular in the distant future when more people get their hands on this particular character. And the reason why I like her so much with Lord Vader, it's not because of Purge. We're not really seeing the full picture of Purge, although we can theorize how it might be a little bit helpful with the addition of the 9th sister. Under a Lord Vader lead, since she is a tank and she's an unaligned Force user, all that other lovely fun stuff here, she is going to immediately taunt at the very beginning because she's an unaligned Force user Imperial tank. Well, she's going to taunt quite a lot. As we're going to reiterate, in her unique ability, it's just a scratch. She rarely ever never taunts, if you know what I mean. She's pretty much always taunting in a Lord Vader team. 1, because she starts off a taunt. 2, when the taunt expires, she gains mark. And 3, anytime an Empire ally is being critically hit, it legitimately is like a General Kenobi. She is going to be gaining taunt, and it's not just Inquisitors that need to be critically, any Empire ally being critically hit. So even heck, TIE Pilot, Director Krennic, things that you might not be using, if they get critically hit, that triggers the taunt. And what happens in a Lord Vader lead? Okay, well, he's being more critically hit lately because of a nerf. Well, she's gonna taunt a lot more. And we kind of maybe speculated that they nerfed Vader in preparation for the 9th sister, and maybe the rest of the Inquisitors, because they want Lord Vader to be crit a lot more, because she is going to taunt so much. And what happens when she taunts? And then it expires. The Lord Vader lead puts the mark back on. So there's going to be this constant cycle where pretty much 98% of the battle in a Lord Vader team, she's going to be taunting to make sure she's carrying you all the way to victory. And furthermore, beyond that, I will admit I didn't really feel the impact of this as much. Empire allies are going to gain 20% critical avoidance for one turn when she gets taunted, and when someone else gets critically hit on a team. It's kind of hard to really pinpoint how effective that was. 20% is kind of a low number. We still got critically hit quite a lot, but in some aspects you kind of want her to be critically hit so that she keeps taunting over and over again, gets the force mark. It's pretty much a never-ending cycle that happens here. And we need to talk about the durability. Yes, she's the General Kenobi of the team, but she needs a way to survive as long as possible. We got a fantastic gray battle just showing her eating up a sudden enrollment of over 200,000, and it was just a little snack for this thick girl in Galaxy of Heroes. Anytime there's an Inquisitorious ally, she's also recovering 5% health. And in a Lord Vader team, when you're already combining the health and protection to one, those are some pretty nice health gains that we're getting on her. And furthermore, there's ways for her to get heal over times to keep that health pool alive and running. But that's not all, folks. Why were we able to eat such a massive sudden whirlwind from her? Well, one, keep in mind, unaligned force user with Lord Vader allows her to reduce the damage on light side unaligned force users, for example, Raid Shadow Legends. But furthermore, for each other Empire ally present, not just Inquisitors, she's getting 5% defense, 5% max health, and 5% tenacity, and doubled for Inquisitorious allies. So as we're going to see there, just assuming there's no Inquisitors on the team, she's going to be at least getting 20% increase to her max health, defense, as well as tenacity. And if there's Inquisitorious, you double that, she can hypothetically get 40% extra stats on her, and that is pretty gnarly. And right now we're hypothesizing that the Inquisitors are going to be fantastic with Lord Vader down the road. And so this means what you're seeing right now, this is Relic 5 gameplay you're seeing. It's only going to get better as, of course, when you upgrade the relics. But if you're going to put more Inquisitors on the team to fill in with Lord Vader. But why don't we talk about things beyond Lord Vader? As of now, the team for the Inquisitors isn't quite up to snuff. We don't see the full picture. It's kind of like Bad Batch, where we didn't really start seeing the team operate until roughly the third character, when Wrecker got added, and more importantly, when the fourth character got added, Echo. The Bad Batch started having an identity, and they started becoming a team. Right now, with just the two Inquisitors, we're starting to see there's more ways to get Purge on the enemy, which Purge right now is definitely starting to seem like a target lock type of effect, where certain Inquisitors will interact with Purge a little bit differently and apply it a little bit differently. Unlike the second sister, I do feel like the ninth sister has an easier time applying Purge on the enemy with their basic. Remember that the second sister, it was kind of iffy trying to apply Purge on a non-Jedi enemy. Well, at least with her, the ninth sister, it's a little bit easier on this character. And the not worth my time first special ability, I didn't use it much right now. That's because Purge it's not still on the team long enough or as often I was like, but of course we can't criticize that because we only have two characters in the entire team. But with this ability, she's able to firstly dispel all buffs on the target Jedi, which is great when we're going to show some Master Kenobi, Jedi Master Luke type of gameplay later on. But when Purge is removed, she's going to inflict damage over time of the enemy, and she's going to get heal over times depending on how many purges we're on that particular enemy. And a heal over time is fan-freaking-tastic for what we described a moment ago earlier, especially with Lord Vader. You want her to heal up as much as possible. Let's not even mention the fact that Royal Guard, if you're running a Lord Vader team, has ways to get heal over times on that team, and Royal Guard also has ways to passively heal up the ninth sister. So there's going to be so many ways to keep this character alive, and not worth my time. It's just one element of the entire spectrum here. And then we have Ground Pound. This is mucho interesante, mis señores. I like this ability quite a lot. Lord Vader already has an unresistible daze. Well, the ninth sister, well, this ability also triggers Taunt, which we didn't really quite mention in the Taunt segment of this video, because yeah, it's one of many ways that she could taunt, but it's just another way for her taunting. She'll taunt for 2 turns when she uses Ground Pound, but she's also going to inflict daze on all enemies. Another AoE daze. AoE dazes, man, they can't go out of style. Nest. The one reason why Maul's valuable still to some degrees because Darth Maul has AoE daze. Quite as well on him. Bo-Katan has a daze in her. So dazes are not bad. But against Jedi, so long as they don't dodge, I don't care how much tenacity up they have. I don't care if you have 5 bajillion% tenacity on your Jolie Bindo. She's going to get that daze locked down. And this really comes in handy. For example, in Master Kenobi, maybe he cleansed away Lord Failure's daze. You got another backup daze in your back pocket to land it yet again on the enemy. So, and this is really fun because I'm starting to feel a little bit of a difference with the 9 Sisters of the Lord Vader team because I have another way of just slowing down Kenobi. After someone cleanses, boom, we drop another daze. And Kenobi already has crazy high tenacity because of his quasi-Padme elite ability where protection up basically increases the tenacity of the team. We can penetrate that and get dazed on. I love this ability, and that's not even including the fact for each enemy inflicted with purge and damage by this ability, she is gaining 10% defense, which is stacking, which increases to a max of 50% for 2 turns. So kind of like a Zalbar thing almost, and she has been kind of read the unique ability. She's got more ways as well to get defense increases on her kit here. We're not going to talk about Can't Stop the Empire, her lead. We kind of did a little bit of it at the very beginning of the speed limiting effects, that they're immune to it. Otherwise, so far, what am I seeing this character is for? Ignoring Inquisitorius, what they're coming, if there may be, we know there's more coming in the near future. Right now, I'm seeing 2 very prevalent, maybe even 3 prevalent ways of using this character. Number 1 is Lord Failure. I think she's got a great home there. I am definitely calling it. Of course, it's going to be hard because it's a new character in a block, but give it time. A couple months down the road, I can definitely see this character coming in to be one of the most persistent taunting characters that the Empire has to offer. And more so, even with Lord Failure, we don't really have a character for the Empire that taunts nearly this much. This is nearly General Kenobi level of taunting, except for the fact General Kenobi taunts regardless of any team that they're put into. So a very valuable tank right there. Wish it was a pre-taunt. Who knows? We might get something that can maybe cause a pre-taunt on the Knights, as they're very much so. Like how Wrecker, it took a while to get the pre-taunt once Omega came into the picture and he was able to get Maximum Furious taunt at the very beginning. A pre-taunt on 9 Sister. Whew. Pre-taunts never go out of style. People still get used how to base Malbus, even to this day, because of the pre-taunt situation. Thing number 2, I'm possibly finding her useful for. Darth Vader. Lee, the non-galactic legend version of Vader. Damage over times, you know, it might be able to synergize well, especially if they're not worth my time. Being able to just kind of add on top of the massacre of damage over time is being applied on the enemy. I think that might be another area of opportunity that we might see with this character. And then, of course, 3, we got to wait for the Inquisitorius team to come around sometime in the near future. But I think even so, unlike the Second Sister where people aren't really getting a lot of use out of that character, most use you're getting out of Second Sister is the fact that, well, she's unaligned Force user, and if you need an extra unaligned Force user, you could throw to Star Killer to satisfy the requirement. But run like that, 9 Sister, if you were whaling and you only could pick 1 character to farm, so far 9 Sister is definitely a lot more lucrative in terms of kit overall viability than the Second Sister. But we really got to wait and see what the broader picture is going to be like. And at least for me personally, I'm starting to feel like it's easier to handle these Jedi Master Kenobi teams with the crazy durability of the 9 Sister, the AoE dazes. Woo! I'm loving what this character's looking like. Quick speculation moment here. Territory War Omicrons, we're getting quite a lot of them on these Inquisitors. I'm assuming the next few are also going to have Territory War Omicron leads. I would like to see a Grand Arena Omicron lead, but we'll wait and see. The theory is there's going to be maybe Crystals pull out a Fleet Arena and throw it in Territories, and Territories might be more frequent. These might make more sense. The speculation we had during yesterday's stream is maybe there's a character coming down the road. The theory is maybe Grand Inquisitor, which would be pretty neat. Definitely not out of the question. That maybe we'll have a way to treat all the individual leads of these Inquisitors, the Second Sister, the 9th Sister, and convert them into unique abilities that share throughout the team, or maybe even for the character individually. That would be pretty interesting. Right now, these leads that we're seeing out of the Inquisitors aren't that lucrative. This is mainly a call out for Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker lead, and we don't quite see a lot of Jedi Knight Luke Skywalkers lingering around there on the defense side. Maybe it's meant to be more of an early game thing, because maybe Jedi Knight Lukes are a bit more prevalent early on in game, but overall, it's not the lead that we need to be looking at. It's her viability as a tank, a General Kenobi-like tank for the Empire. And dang, she is one thick cookie. I was very tempted to get her to Relic 9. I held myself back. Relic 9 might be lucrative on her because tanks get the best boost out of Relic 9. I held back because Relic 9 is way too exclusive and way too difficult to get. But as you can see, I hit her at Relic 5 for the first time. I got her to Relic 7. She is incredibly durable, and that's not even including all the Lord Vader bonuses. For example, quickly, let's talk about Zetas. You can skip out on the Zeta on the lead. I knew it was going to be a waste from the get-go, but we saw Luke on defense and Squad Arena. I was like, all right, let's just do it for the fun of it. Don't invest in the Zeta there. Although I do think Ground Pound, this is the Zeta you're going to want to invest in if you are going to take use out of this character, because you get the extra damage, whatever, but you're going to inflict daze and potency down for 2 turns, and it can't be resisted by Jedi. Without the Zeta, you don't get the daze. Is it necessary for it to work? No. The taunting stuff is going to work perfectly fine without the Zeta, but that daze and being able to penetrate through high tenacious Jedis like Master Luke, Grandmaster Yoda, the tenacity up, Jedi Rabbit, a tenacity up, or maybe even Master Kenobi, that's going to be a Zeta you're going to keep in your back pocket. Lastly, mods. Several ways to mod her. She's got high defense. She's got a lot of protection. And she's got ways to amplify her health even more. For example, I definitely think health sets are going to be the way to go. Defense sets are also pretty ideal. We're kind of working on it, but since I'm using her with Lord Vader, protection mods are going to be more ideal because she's going to be able to get a bigger total health and protection pool under that Lord Vader lead. You're just going to get more bonuses by using protection primaries. But as of now, we still got more to learn. We will do a more in-depth, inquisitorious team breakdown when the team does finally get complete sometime in the near future. But until then, I like this character. Usable. Is it as amazing as Iden, Kyle Katarn? No. But in the right situation, this character is one thick cookie and could be quite useful for the Imperial assets. Leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And most importantly, always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.